You may have heard about the two-pot retirement system, which comes into effect on 1 September this year. But before I get into the details, I'm going to give you the quick take. For the first time, retirement annuity investors will have the opportunity to get early access to a portion of their retirement savings before they turn 55. While it's a great option for emergencies, investors need to understand the true cost of access before dipping into their savings pot. Depending on the amount of time before retirement, every R1 accessed early could cost you up to 30 Rand at retirement in nominal terms. So let's start with the basics. In South Africa, a personal pension plan is called a retirement annuity, or RA for short. You can deduct contributions to your RA from your taxable income, and while your money remains invested, no local tax is levied on your growth and investment income. The money invested in an RA is also protected from creditors. Currently, you can't access your RA before you turn 55, although you can choose any retirement date thereafter, no upper limit. When you retire from your RA, you can take 1/3 of its value as a lump sum, and 2/3 must be used to buy a retirement income. You can think of this as two separate pots in your retirement account. Now that we've got that under the belt, let's talk about the two-pot retirement system. The two-pot system formalizes the split between a lump sum and a retirement income account by somewhat confusingly introducing three formal components or pots into your retirement account. Firstly, a vested pot representing most of your fund value at the time of implementing the new system. Secondly, a retirement income pot. And thirdly, a retirement lump sum pot. It's called a savings pot, formally in the legislation. From September this year, we will split your RA holdings value into these three components in all the reporting that we make available to you. The biggest change under the new system, as I've mentioned before, is that you will be allowed one annual early withdrawal from your retirement lump sum or savings pot, as it's called in the legislation. You don't have to do this, but you'll have the option every year to take the full value in your retirement savings pot. The assets in your retirement savings pot will initially consist of a seed amount transferred from your vested pot, of the lowest of 30,000 Rand or 10% of your fund value at implementation. 1/3 of all future contributions that you make into your RA will also be allocated to the savings pot. The catalyst for allowing early access was the economic hardship caused by the COVID-era lockdowns, when many people lost their jobs or income. The idea behind this reform is to create an emergency fund to be used at the times of true hardship. In the table on screen, you can see the allocation of vested savings and future contributions from 1 September 2024. Now that we understand the two-pot reform a little bit better, let's turn to its implications for RA investors. The big change is that you will in future have the option of making one annual withdrawal, as we've already covered. It's vital to understand, however, that this new liquidity option where you can access some of your retirement benefits early comes with a very important health warning. Early access is costly and can seriously reduce your standard of living in retirement. There are two main components to this cost. Firstly, early withdrawals are tax disadvantaged, so government will effectively claw back some of the tax benefits granted on contribution when you withdraw early. Secondly, when you withdraw early, you are effectively borrowing money from your future self over a fixed term at a fairly high interest rate. Let's unpack this further. Let's talk about the tax implications of exercising your early access option. If you wait to the point of retirement, so that's any time after you turn 55 in the case of an RA, before you withdraw retirement capital, the preferential retirement lump sum tax table applies. However, if you withdraw early, the more punitive marginal tax rate, according to the income tax tables, will be deducted from your withdrawal and you will receive only the net proceeds. The difference in tax rates between these two tables can greatly impact your retirement. Let's look at some examples. If you have taxable income in the tax year that you make your early withdrawal of 240,000 Rand before you make the withdrawal, regardless of the size of the withdrawal you make, you will pay tax of at least 26% of the value of that withdrawal. Now that is more than a quarter of the money that you intend to access. This compares to zero tax on the first 550,000 Rand lump sum withdrawn at the time of retirement. The principle holds at the higher end of the income scale too. For a 10 million Rand lump sum withdrawal at the time of retirement, your effective tax rate using the 2025 lump sum tax tables will be 33%. Compare this to the early withdrawal rate of 45%, assuming that you earn more than 1.8 million Rand of taxable income in that tax year. That is still a 12 percentage points difference. Secondly, if you think about an early withdrawal from the perspective of a financing decision, you are effectively borrowing money from your future self at your expected rate of return over a fixed term. To illustrate the impact of this, let's assume you are 35 years old and intend to retire at 65, so a 30-year period to go to retirement. Any 1 Rand access by way of an early withdrawal will cost you 30 Rand in lost retirement benefits in nominal terms at the age of retirement. In other words, by resisting the urge to access your savings early, your money could have multiplied by a factor of 30 over the 3 decades until retirement. While the numbers become less dramatic if you shorten the period between early access and retirement, they remain retirement defining. Even for an individual with only 10 years to go to retirement when an early withdrawal is made, it would still cost 3 Rand in lost retirement benefits for every 1 Rand taken out early. A single decade of missed compounding means you have effectively halved the purchasing power of the money taken out as part of your early withdrawal. Bottom line is that to avoid a significantly reduced standard of living in retirement, you must avoid the temptation to make early withdrawals to fund discretionary spending today. By not accessing your retirement savings early, you allow the powerful effect of compound growth to work to your full advantage. We will talk a lot more about Two-Pot in the months leading up to implementation, and we will continue to provide you the information you need to make the trade-offs that are in your own best interests. We also recommend that you talk to a financial advisor if you are in any way uncertain about the quality and the suitability of your retirement planning at the moment.